Like, I really tried. I know I fidgeted, but, like, I tried to keep still as possible, where I'm, like, actually just talking as versus, like, over here looking like a crackhead.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I review it. Whenever I watch the footage or whatever. I'll let you know how you did.
Alright, so you're on...
So yeah, I moved this thing forward. I moved the camera forward because there's no fire. Yeah, I agree. Time to do this.
Cold. I'm hot.
You're hot. Let me put more hoods and more jackets on. Because it's hot.
It's so hot, guys.
Ah, it's so hot.
Okay, quick before you start. No, this is just something we talk about off screen.
Okay. Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Bear thing.
Alright, so welcome back, guys. It's a little bit colder outside.
And there's no fire, unfortunately.
There's smoke, but there's no fire.
Hey, and they usually say where there's smoke, there is fire.
Yeah, well, they're a liar, because right now where there's smoke, there's just embers.
Just embers.
Anyways.
Just burning ashes.
Welcome back to the Bear Think Show. I don't remember what we're talking about, but did you set the timer?
Yeah.
Awesome. Alright, so timer is set, guys.
We don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about Star Wars.
Well, I know we're talking about Star Wars.
My version of Episode 8.
Yeah, which you guys will get mine later on, which you guys got heard at the end of
which is Episode 8, Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. You're going to still follow it. Okay. Well, is that what Fallen Order?
So Episode 7 was the new, I said New Jedi, it should be like the New Republic.
Yes.
Right?
New
and
Republic.
then Episode 8 is going to be the Fallen Order.
Wait, should it not just be New Jedi Order? You're talking about the Jedi Order. We're following some...
Yeah, but it's the New Republic because the New Republic is also established.
Okay.
Yeah. But this isn't Fallen Order. Okay? So this is the Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
So
welcome to Episode 8.
So Episode 8, it's been a few years later.
Oh, past Episode 7. So we're gonna time skip. I love it. All right.
So
let's do real Star Wars.
Jana,
time skip, baby.
Jana and Jason are both now. Well, I'd say actually no. Jason, the oldest, is 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa! How much have
10
we
years.
moved forward?
Another 10 years.
Okay, I like that.
You know, a little bit.
Yeah.
Close to 10 years.
So we're gonna do like 1, 2, and 3, where we meet Anakin at 9, and then he jumps forward to what he's like 16 or 17, maybe even 19 at that time, and then we jump forward maybe like 4 years for the third one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So we're doing another pretty big time skip. So the New Order's been established. The First Order, sorry. The First Order's been established.
Okay, so they show up at the end and they're like,
"Yep.
Oh my God, the First Order exists."
Luke turns around and lowers his robe and has a look of like, "No."
Yeah, he's like,
"No
There's
way.
no way." And then
we killed the Empire.
And then we jump forward, and it's like clearly they have re-emerged.
So
you're going for straight. Like, I know you've been calling it whatever, Harry Potter, but that is still Star Wars.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it rhymes.
It's beautiful. What? No. What?
It's like poetry.
Okay.
It rhymes.
Okay, poetry. I'll give it poetry. I don't know about rhyming, but I'll give it poetry. So
you'll see when we get to the end of the third act, which would be Episode 9.
Okay.
You'll see how I'm saying it's Harry Potter.
Okay.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just saying it's poetry. I won't say rhyming, but I'll give it poetry.
So, in Episode 8, we start on Finn, Poe, and Rey in X-Wings.
Okay.
They're doing a raid on a First Order construction site, right?
Wait, so
like where they're building
unnatural gravity and everything else. They've been working on this location, doing whatever.
It's a space depot, right? It's a dry dock where they're building Star Destroyers.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're raiding a Star Destroyer base with a fleet, and they're part of the Rogue Squadron.
Good.
Okay, bringing that.
Should always exist.
Yeah, bringing back the Rogue Squadron, right? So Rogue Squadron, led by.
I think it should be led by Poe. Honestly, that's my personal.
No. Poe is the definitely first in command for the Jedi League, which is only the 3 people. There's only 3 Jedis fighting in this.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's led by, what's his name? Not Biggs. What's his name? From episode 4?
Are you talking about the freaking fish-looking guy?
No. From episode 4, it's the guy that's friends with Luke, where he's like, oh my god.
That's why I thought Poe Dameron was. I don't remember his name because when I was like Poe Dameron, I feel like he's in the books, but he's not. It's that same guy I was thinking of because he does show up in the books.
Crap,
He's
I
amazing.
cannot
He's an
think of his
amazing fighter
name.
pilot.
Exactly,
Whatever.
he's the leader of Rogue Squadron.
Okay.
I cannot think of his name though. But so something that's been established in episode 4, right? We're following up on that. He's the leader of Rogue Squadron. I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to go in. It doesn't matter. If you know his name, you know his name, and I'm sorry that I don't. I thought it was Biggs, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Anyway, so he's the leader of Rogue Squadron, and there's these 3 Jedi that are involved with him right now because they've been deployed by Luke or whatever, you know, it is that.
At this point,
and they're a lot
like
older. They're knights.
Yeah.
They're not Padawans anymore. They're knights now. You know, they learned a lot, and so they're going to use they're essentially going to be Luke Skywalkers, all of them. Where Poe is still the best.
So should we make them masters at that point?
No. I mean Luke Skywalker is in episode 4,
Okay.
where he was the best fighter pilot.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Natural force abilities, all that crap.
Yeah, because of the inclination to the Force.
Inclinations to mechanics, because that's the same thing with Anakin. That was weird. Why did he do that? It is not important. Move on.
It's irrelevant. But the point being that they clearly show up the Rogue Squadron. But Poe shows up both of them, and he's boisterous.
Oh, good,
right?
Good.
He's like, dude, I'm the freaking best Jedi pilot. I'm the best pilot ever.
Amazing guy,
right?
Come on.
Which we're also calling back to Jedi Starfighter, the video game, right?
Okay,
where the
the
Jedi pilots are way better than any of the other pilots, right? Because they're freaking Jedi. And so I think at this point they're not Padawans anymore; they're knights. Yes, we skipped their knighthood, but we'll have some throwaway line or whatever.
It's not important because we skipped Obi-Wan's knighthood.
Mm-hmm.
We watched him be a Padawan. He becomes a master. A master.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because we were not even told. Does he get knighthood in the first one, in the first movie, or is it all of a sudden he's a master?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Anyways, so he's a master. They're knighthoods.
Yeah, and so they have a successful raid and destroy. They destroy the facility.
So are we gonna come to them flying into this? Like this is what I'm imagining. We come into them flying into the fight.
Yeah.
Because we have the scroll down, everything else.
Yep. And it pans down to X-wings going in on a.
They do their mission.
But there's a Star Destroyer sitting in a dry dock.
Okay, so we're not even. But are we going to go? The way I'm imagining is that we're not even going to go into that full scene of fight and everything. We're going to go to like kind of scenes. They blow up. You see fire and brimstone behind them, essentially. Then it comes back to him being like, I'm boisterous kind of moment. Where it's like, we won.
No, it'll take 10 minutes.
It'll take 10 minutes? Okay.
It'll take 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. You're going to have them go around. There's going to be a little bit of, maybe a couple, maybe even only 5 minutes.
Okay.
Only 5 minutes.
Just a small
right.
Of
a small
like, look at
fight.
us being badass.
A small fight scene. Yeah, we're all badasses. Rogue Squadron even will be a badass.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
then they'll get shown up by the Jedis. But then even the Jedis will get shown up by Poe. And then Poe will be like, "Bah, I'm the freaking best, brah. I'm the best there ever was."
Like,
you
as
know,
they're flying away, like, woo!
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I'll even give him a triple kill. You know, like how he had in episode 7.
Which
or
was
it
actually
8,
pretty boss.
where he gets like a triple kill. Like, he'll get a triple kill. You know what I mean? Like, he'll do some freaking baller crap.
Can we not have... See, I'm glad, because both you and I chose not to do any SJW shit, but we still represent the fact that women are actually pretty dope in this.
Yeah, no, exactly. Rey and Finn will also hold their own.
Yeah,
like, they'll also be
good
better
characters
than the Rogue Squadron,
Yeah,
which the Rogue Squadron will be only men.
Okay. Rogue Squadron's only men.
Only men, except these Jedi Envoy, and Rey will be better than all of them.
See,
so is that good enough?
Yeah, that's fine. Because honestly, it's like, it's not that we
But
don't
then
want...
Poe is still the best fighter pilot. But this is, spoiler alert, Rey's story.
Oh, cool! I'm excited.
Okay, spoiler alert.
I like a good female character. She just doesn't need to be crazy.
We need more time with her so that she can be crazy.
Okay.
That's the thing. We're leading up to episode 10.
All right, good.
Okay.
10?
Yes.
You're going from...
This is a 12-episode series.
You're not even making a trilogy.
It's 2 trilogies.
It's 3 to 4 trilogies.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's a saga. We have we have prequel series, then we have original series,
shit.
and then we have the sequel, and then the sequel to the sequel. And the sequel to the sequel, so to spoiler alert, sequel to the sequel is where Rey is the master. She is the last Jedi.
Which I feel like...
Which we're leading to that. She will be the last Jedi.
I'm going to interject, and it's going to be based off the 7, 8, 9. I actually like Rey as a character. If they developed her more, I would love her.
That's what I'm trying to do right here.
Because
yes, I think Rey would be an awesome character.
Like, I love her.
And that's why I'm saying Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Because in Harry Potter, the students don't start off balling.
Yeah, exactly.
They grow.
Hermione was my favorite in that movie.
Yeah.
She was fucking amazing. She was smart. She was charismatic, and she was just adorable to watch do her thing. It was like, you are an amazing character. Had they done that with Rey, oh my god, it'd been beautiful.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to do here on my retake of what it should have been.
So let's
where
hear
we
it.
have these three episodes.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So, episode 8. So it starts on that, does that, whatever. They blow up the thing, blah blah blah. Then we're going to have. We're going to hard cut after the fight's won to Jaina, Jason, and Anakin.
Well, at this point, they should be teenagers, if not almost 20.
They're like exactly. It's 10 years. They're in their 20s.
Shite.
So Anakin's still the youngest, though.
Yeah.
Right.
So he may not be in his teen. He may not be 20. He was
right
at that point.
Because he was 5, and so now he's 15.
Yeah.
So he's a teenager, where they're in their 20s.
Okay, good.
And they're with Han and Leia as they're debating having peace talks with the final Legion of the Empire. They're like, we've been able to establish communications. We've been beating them on all these fronts or whatever. We don't like war. The main Senate is wanting to build a fleet and their own super weapon, you know, or whatever, right?
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Okay, yeah, because she's not in charge. It's not an empire. It's a republic.
Right. And the Senate has been ruling like, no, we need to grow military forces. We need to have a super weapon of our own, and we need to completely obliterate the remnants of the empire. And she's trying to say, no, we should have peace talks with them.
Are you going to have secret forces? Those who hunt down the remnants of people who have opinions that are empire-like.
What?
We'll talk about it. We'll still talk about it on this, but we'll talk about it later. We'll move on from it. I'll ask you a question later.
Okay. So we cut to them, and they're listening as their mom is trying to argue her point, but the Senate has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Right? The Senate has nothing to do with it. She comes back, she's disappointed. The kids don't understand. They're like, why don't these people actually want peace? I thought that was the whole point of all of this, is we were trying to create peace in the galaxy, but instead they're now warmongering. Right? So they're confused as younger people, right, in the world. And at this point, Han and Leia would be like in their 50s, right? And Luke would be in his 50s or whatever. I think that would...
Well, Leia and Luke would be about the same age, so no matter what age...
So, okay, late 40s. Late 40s. They'd be in their late 40s because it's only been 20-something years.
Han is like 10 years older than her.
Yeah, but it's been like 20-something years since 6.
Okay.
20-something years.
Oh yeah, so they should be close.
So they're like 40s
50s.
going on 50s.
Yeah.
Right. And the kids don't understand. She doesn't understand. Han doesn't understand. He tries to comfort her. It's not really working or whatever. But the person that really doesn't get it is Anakin. He gets mad. He's like, these people are stupid. They should just listen to you, Mom. You should just be in charge of everything. Right? Okay. He starts going that route.
Oh, I like it.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you see where I'm going with this, right?
I think I do, but I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
Because I think I understand the idea of where you're going with, at least Anakin.
Yeah. So, but Jason and Jana are still, and Jason's the oldest, but Jason and Jana are still more or less on the side of their mother, who even, and she's like upset, but she's still like, no, it's the will of the people, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But Han and Anakin are like, no, they should just listen to you. You got the right opinion.
So Anakin got his dad's side.
Exactly.
Which would definitely not be good for a Jedi. Or a Force user.
Right, but you get where I'm coming from, right? Where, exactly. Okay. So, then Luke, though. Luke, we're going to cut to him back on a Jedi temple, which I want to say that the Jedi temple actually was set up on, like, Dagobah.
I thought about Dagobah in mind,
right?
but then I was like, Dagobah's
why not?
a great place, but, like, the dark side, and my character already has dark side.
The dark side. Dagobah. It's set up on Dagobah and the dark side. So, following one of the books, the main plot of this one, of episode 8, The Fallen Order, is going to be that one of Luke's oldest students, one of the masters...
That's gross.
Right,
Sorry,
so at this point, at this point, there's what? I'm going to say 3 masters. There's the Grand Master Luke, and then he has 2 masters that we established them as Jedi Knights before. I don't know if we necessarily gave him screen time or anything, but we established.
What about the one that helps him?
That he died.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Which is a pinnacle moment. He dies, which I want that to also impact Anakin.
So that should be the 7th one.
Yes, that was in the last movie.
Them leaving should be him dying.
He dies to sacrifice for them to be able to escape and tell Luke.
Okay, cool.
Right, that was important for the 7th movie, which I also want that to affect Anakin because I think that to retroactively say I think Anakin should be the only one that's like, no, we shouldn't leave him to die. And everyone else says, no, we should.
He's caring. He doesn't have the
everyone else is like, no, he told us to run and he's our leader. And Anakin's the only one like, F that.
So they're soldiers where he's a human being.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Dude, the worst part about, like, you think about Star Wars, as much as, like, people are like, oh, it has no real relevance to human life, it's like, it really does, though. Like, the Jedi are people who are soldiers. Like, by the time we meet the Jedi in Star Wars, they're soldiers. And at least in 1, 2, and 3. And then later on, they realize in 4, 5, and 6 that they're like, we can't just be soldiers anymore.
I still agree with the Jedi, but I do have a lot of beef with the way that they establish their order.
Yeah, no, it's because they're too robotic with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Wow, okay.
That flew by.
I want to try and summarize.
Yeah.
I want to try and summarize Episode 8,
okay,
the Fallen Order.
Go ahead. Okay.
So I'll try and be really brief with this.
You keep talking. I'll double check.
So the storyline A is that
you can set up another 10 minutes.
Finn, Poe. Okay, but I was for myself. I just gotta say. Okay, so storyline A is Finn, Poe, and Rey destroying some remnant of the First Order, and then their follow-up storyline is going to be that they defeat the new Sith that arise, which that's going to tie into storyline B, which I know I already started with storyline B being.
Are they the Knights of Ren?
No, but like I think that'd be a cool idea, but no, I don't think that works for what I've got in mind.
No.
So storyline B though is going to be. I know I already started with Han and Leia, but that's still storylines because still Janna, Jason, and Anakin and Han and Leia are storyline C. They get the least screen time through these movies.
So we're gonna follow Luke we're gonna follow Rey, Finn, and Poe.
Yes, they are storyline A. Storyline B, and now in the first movie, I think storyline A, I said was Luke.
Yes.
Training them.
Yeah.
Right. So we follow Luke.
Still give
but
them
now that they've split up because they're knights, storyline B is Luke and the Jedi Temple.
Which, if you do it right, Luke would still be B in the first one, but it would be he'd be a partial B.
Right. Where, because exactly. He's B story in all of them. That's the intention. The intention is A story is Poe, Ren, and Finn.
Look at that foe.
Poe, Rey, and Finn are story A. Story B is Luke. Story C is Janna, Jason, and Anakin, as well as Han and Leia. Okay, that's all story C. So, in this one, story A, it starts with story A, which is them go defeat the thing, blah, 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 come back. But then we're going to cut to story C, and story C is Leia and Han with the council, blah, 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 blah. Story B goes to Luke, which I guess actually would be story A, because I think the most time in this movie should be spent with Luke and the Jedi Order. So maybe that is A line.
Figure out what they need to do.
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, hold on, let me explain. I think it probably should be story A, because it probably needs the most time for development. Is that while on Dagobah and training people, he's going to be counseling his masters as they're training new Jedi, and they're running into these different problems and everything. And because like the cave where Yoda sent him into the cave to be like, okay, I think you need to confront this. Kind of the same thing comes up where his masters that are training these students are saying like, we're running into these problems with them being full of themselves and blah blah blah. Arrogant, and he's like, oh, they need arrogant, right? And he's like, okay, well, I think that they need to experience what comes of their soul. They need to face themselves. They need to go into the cave. And so one of the masters is like, okay, and he goes in the cave. But once he comes out of the cave, after facing himself, he actually faces some ancient Sith, because the Dagobah has dark side on it, right? He talks and experiences something with an ancient Sith and realizes, oh, I can gain more pay. He falls.
That's terrifying, especially with Master.
A master falls to the dark side. goes, and this is also kind of following one of the books, because there's a book where one of the knights goes and falls to a Sith Lord, but then Luke beats him.
Okay.
But we're not following that. So he falls to a Sith. He goes to the temple on Dagobah. He gets essentially possessed by this Sith. He takes his group of students, and they all follow him because they're like, we think that you're better. So there should be something that's why I'm saying this is the A story.
So now we're having new Sith lines come up.
Yes, and it's going to be about 6 of them.
Oh wow, that's a lot of Sith.
Yeah. So where this A-line story is about Luke dealing with this whole problem with the temple where there's area and blah blah blah, and he's like, oh, you should go about this route. And so his wisdom, his like, this is the right way to do this, actually leads to all 6 of these people falling to the dark side.
Okay.
Right? Where the Master, though, leads these 5 people to the dark side. So then they come back to the temple and start trying to slaughter, and there's this huge war at the temple on Dagobah, where almost everyone is defeated, and Luke is holding his own against the last 3. And that is when Rey, Finn, and Poe show up.
Can Luke die there? Can we have an Obi-Wan moment? Or are you going to hold off Luke's
I feel like
death until
Luke
the last?
should die in the 9th movie.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah, that's
I think,
fine.
but
It's
he
your
needs the
story.
help. He's really, like, he is on the verge. He's clearly trying to hold his own against these 3 people, because we're not going to see the whole thing, but it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But like, so he's holding off against this Master and his 2 apprentices, or knights. I'll even say they're knights. They've been there for a while too.
Yeah.
Right. And then Poe, Rey, and no, it's reset the stage.
Okay.
So these 6 fall to the dark side because their Master falls, and he convinces them, and they agree. Right. So it's not that they fall. The Master falls to the dark side because of this whole encounter.
And they're just following.
And then they're just like, yeah, we always thought you were smarter than Luke. And that's why I think that it should be the A storyline, because there should be a couple things that come up.
Which is why I was thinking that if you're going to bring one of the Masters of Falling, he or she should be almost on Luke's level of ability.
Mm-hmm. We should actually retroactively go back to 7, and there will be a guy who is like nearly as smart as Luke, or as smart as Luke, and maybe even has better ideas every now and then.
He shouldn't even be a master yet at that point.
No,
but
he's
he
a
should
knight.
be strong enough to be and smart enough to be like, this is the way we should do things. And like,
right.
When you see it, even retroactively, you'd be like, no, his way was smart.
Yeah, exactly. And so once we get to the next movie, and he is a master, and he has his own apprentices, a whole group of them, not just, oh, I have a couple people that I like, because also we're not following the master-apprentice thing, because Luke doesn't know that crap.
Yeah, he's just
he also doesn't know the age thing. That's why, like, there's Jedi of all ages so far.
Yeah.
You know, but, so this master has his students, and then throughout this movie, throughout eight, this master's students have been like, man, it really seems like you know what you're doing better than Luke, and I don't know why he talks down to you. Because Luke should have his errors where he's like, I was trained by Yoda.
It's like, come on, dude, I know what I'm fucking doing.
I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. And where all the kids are like, I don't really get it, because you seem like you know you're right. And then that also feeds into his ego, which then when he has this encounter with the dark side and falls to it, he's like, yeah, I am better than Luke. Right?
Yeah.
So then these students follow along with him because they kind of encouraged him to usurp Luke, and where he's like, we're going to take the Jedi Council because Luke doesn't know what he's doing, so we've got to take over the Jedi Order. And then when they go in, Luke, following what the Jedi seem to always do as their flaw, make the first strike.
They're like, there's a Sith! Kill him.
So he's going to come back. He's going to start spewing this dark side stuff. Luke's going to try and reason with him. More dark side stuff. He's like, then I have to kill you. And then that's where it's like, oh, clearly Luke is the bad guy. Because that is the one major flaw of the Jedi, is they can't seem to freaking get it through their head to strike second. They always strike first.
Only
every
Sith
time.
feel an absolute.
Yeah, exactly. Which, isn't that saying an absolute statement? Exactly. So the Jedi flaw, right, of thinking that, no, we're better. When in fact, no, you're just human. You're just as much.
Because they lost the compassion. That's what
it's
my
all
problem is. They lost the idea of that you are human. They're like, they act like robots way too much.
Exactly. Exactly. So he's going to fall into the same problem as the rest of the time.
Okay.
So the conclusion to the movie, because like I said, I want to reset the stage. Poe, Finn, and Rey are with Luke as this happens. Okay. The entire Jedi Order is slain, except the 4 of them. When Jason, Janet, Anakin show up.
Okay.
They help with the final fight. So then it becomes overwhelming odds against the Sith. So there's 3 Sith, because they're not really Sith, they're fallen Jedi.
They're fallen Jedi.
They're Sith, but Sith. Because they're still going to be using like blue and green lightsabers.
Yeah.
Right? Because like they didn't
go and
lightsabers.
recreate
Yeah,
lightsabers.
whatever.
They just did
but
their thing.
so they're fighting them. Something's going to happen to Luke where he like gets knocked out, right? And then Poe, Finn, and Rey. Poe's going to get knocked out, or maybe he gets badly injured. Finn gets badly injured, right? Where they got to be put in back to tank. So Rey is with Jason, Janna, and Anakin as they battle the Master.
And
Jason,
she should be a boss.
Rey?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At that point,
absolutely. It's going to
moment.
become Rey and Anakin. Because something's going to also happen to Jason and Janna, but where they can still, they see what's going on in the fight. Somehow they also get separated. You know, kind of how like Obi-Wan got separated from his master in episode 1.
I mean, you don't have to do the laser
like,
thing.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can still
but
do
something
like a
where
like, we can't get to you,
yeah,
but you two do this moment.
Yeah, and then Anakin dies.
Okay.
And then Rey kills the guy. Right? So Anakin dies, Rey kills the guy, and then the last shot is going to be Jason clenching his fist. The way that Darth Vader does around the moon.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be the last shot is gonna be like a close up of his fist as he just
getting angry, upset because.
And that's it.
It's
That's
his little brother. It's like what the.
That's 8.
Okay.
All right, that's where we're stopping. There's 8.
I like it.
The Fallen Order.
All right, guys. Peace. You have a good evening.